Alrighty. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 89 of the Dear Herbalist podcast titled Top 5 Things I Would Not Do as an Herbalist. If you are new to this podcast, thank you so much for listening. And if you are a returning listener, as always, I appreciate your continued support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please consider doing so. I have a lot of great episodes coming up. I even have some tutorials and other things that I want to start posting on there as well. So get it in there now. I would definitely appreciate your support as well. So the top 5 things I would not do as an herbalist. Tonight I'm going to be sharing the top 5 things I consciously avoid as an herbalist so that I can stay aligned, ethical, and effective in my business. So whether you're a beginner or a seasoned herbalist, keeping these principles in mind, I'm hoping will help you cultivate a focused and authentic approach to herbal medicine. And I decided to talk about that because I know oftentimes as herbalists out there, we feel the need to try to fit ourselves in a box. Never mind the fact that society probably wants to put us in a box. Sometimes we put ourselves in a box. And so I don't think that we should do that. I don't think that's a good idea. And I've learned some things along the way in this over 15 years of working with plants and people and everything else. So I just wanted to share some things with you. I'm in a very reflective mode right now in my life. And so these are one of the things that I thought about, like, what are some things that I would not do? I know we talk about 5 things I would do, 5 things you should do, 5 things to take in consideration. But these are some things that I would not do. And these things that I'm talking about tonight are based on lessons that I have learned in my life. So, I like to get straight to the point. I don't like to do a whole lot of babbling unless I get on my soapbox, but I don't think I'll do that tonight. But you never know. The night is young. All right. So number one of the things that I would not do as an herbalist is work outside of my scope of education. So it's very important for us to know our limits and to respect our areas of expertise. And staying within our scope keeps our interactions safe, keeps them ethical and responsible. So if a case was to go beyond my knowledge, then I would definitely refer my clients out. Other than that, if I feel like I can help them and I understand their situation, then I absolutely would. And the reason why I operate that way is because integrity is very important. And as herbalists, oftentimes you can feel pressure from other people to have an answer about a very complex case, or even sometimes very simple, depending on what it is. And you fall prey to that pressure. Let me just say that it can happen. You can fall prey to the pressure of knowing what to do and try and see and And you're like, look, I got to go research this. I have no idea what's going on with you. But oftentimes people, they don't understand that. And partially because there are people out there that are talking bigger than they should. And they feel like, I am going to go out there and give all these promises and say I can do this and that. And then if something happens to you, I'm going to ghost you. I'm not going to talk to you. Probably going to delete you and act like you never existed, even though I messed your life up. Well, I'm not going to do that. And I'm not that type of person. So I do not work outside of my level of education. I tell people all the time, I don't speak about what I don't know about. And I don't know everything, and I'm okay with that. And it took me a minute to get there because I felt like I needed to know everything. But the reality of it is, you're not. And when you study this long enough, you realize, wow, my little capacity of a brain could never hold the weight of all the knowledge there is to know about plants and about the human body and all of that. Like I said, the Most High, he's not giving his blueprint to anybody, and that's including me. So I had to get out of that mindset of feeling that pressure of like, you have to know everything about everything so that you can help everybody with every situation. And the reality of it is it's not. So I would not do it. If I talk to you, do a consultation or whatever the case may be, and it's like, okay. One thing you can guarantee that I will have is information for you. And if I don't know, I will go find out. And if I know somebody that can help you, I will definitely refer you on. But that's just me. Number 2, Another thing that I would not do as an herbalist is to listen to what others' thoughts are about the type of herbalist that I should be. So one person had made a comment to me, and I may have misread what he was saying, but he was like, man, you're like the next Dr. Sebi, and for some reason, I don't know why, I was taken back. I was like, Dr. Sebi did amazing things as an herbalist. And there's other Dr. Sebis, so to speak, out there that are doing a great work. But I didn't want to be compared to him. And I still don't, because I'm in my own lane. He had his lane and doing the things that he needed to do in the earth. He had his own individual assignment. Me personally, while I'm on my journey, discovering even more things that I'm here to do, that's what I wanted to focus on. And so I didn't want to fall into, again, the Dr. Sebi or even the savior complex that people tend to have when you are able to help them. It's like, oh yeah, you're the greatest, you're the wonderful, you should be this type of herbalist, or you should be that type of herbalist. It's like, I'm comfortable in education because I see that there's a need. I see that there's a gap. So I'm very comfortable in education, but I still give advice as necessary. But everybody's herbal journey is unique, and it's definitely shaped by personal experiences and interest. I know for me personally, I got into it because of my family, different people getting ill. I got really serious when my son got sick and nobody could really tell me what was going on. Nothing motivates you more than seeing your child wrapped up in this huge plastic bubble, and they're trying to keep everybody out of the hospital room because, he has something eating him up and they don't know what it is. Well, there was no plastic that could keep me away from my son. And at the time, he was very, very young. Dang near a baby boy. He was young. So there was nothing that could keep me from my son. I was not wearing no hazmat suit. I said, absolutely not. I don't care what it is. Okay? If he got it, then I'm going to get it. Because I am not going to sit here and scare him by walking in there looking like some huge, crazy, some kind of little monster or something in his little mind at the time. And I got tired of standing around in the mornings, when the doctors all get together and they're talking over your head like you're not standing there. It's like, oh, and this is his mother and father. By the way, let's keep going with our conversation. It's almost like, what am I, chop suey? Y'all remember that saying? What are we, chop suey? So it was just like my personal experience. It drove me even deeper to know more about plants and to know more about the human body, because my first motivation was to get my son better, was to get him back on track, was to get him out of that plastic bubble and get him off the antibiotics and everything that they have prescribed him. And with the grace of the Most High, I was able to do that. So there is no turning back for me. Not at all. Now, everybody's interests are also different. So for me, I love plants, but I also love science, right? So I love to learn about the science behind the plants. I love to learn about the human body, the science behind the human body. Okay. And I'm not talking about all these extra added science, because I feel like they add in some other kind of science every other year. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about foundational science, anatomy, physiology, chemistry, biochemistry. This is what I'm talking about. Not all this other extra, quote unquote, some pseudosciences, as they say. I'm not talking about all that. I'm talking about the basic foundational sciences. So because I'm so interested in that, you're going to see that streamlined in a lot of my material, my products, my podcast, what I talk about, because I'm really interested in that. And if you are an herbalist out there, talk about what you're really interested in. Talk about what you're really invested in. Don't allow someone else to dictate what kind of herbalist you should be, because what that leads is to an inauthentic person. And it's going to hinder your growth. Remember, we're all on a journey. And our journeys are different. They're not supposed to look the same. They're not. So you want to stay true to your personal philosophy and stay focused and develop your herbal business or your herbal purpose that feels genuine and fulfilling to you, not to who else and who everybody else thinks that you should be. Because trust me, when you help people, some people are well-meaning. They really are. They're not trying to, be crass or anything like that. They really are well-meaning. They want you to succeed. So they're like, you could do this. Oh my gosh, if you started a podcast, or oh my gosh, if you started a business over here and then a franchise over here. I mean, they can give you some ideas. People have given me some just awesome, amazing ideas. Wonderful ideas. And I'm like, wow, yeah, you know what? I could do that. Or, hey, yeah, you know what? I could do that too. And before you know it, you're like spinning your head, going 15 different directions, thinking I should go this way, I should go that way, I should go this way. Make sure that you stay true to the type of herbalist that you want to be, need to be. This will also help with authenticity, because that's very, very important. I know sometimes you've seen people and you watch them and you're like, I don't even feel like you're connecting to this. You know, it doesn't come off as authentic. You're not genuinely excited about it. You know, we've seen people try to sell stuff to us and they look like they wouldn't even buy it. So authenticity is very important. It's also very important in our line of business because that is how people connect with you. You have to build relationships in this field, and really any field. But especially when you're directly working with people, you want to make sure that you build that relationship. And if you're not authentic, people can smell it, they can see it, and they're not interested. Even if you're just making a mistake and you're just trying to be something you're not. Just don't do it. Okay? And along the lines of that, what also I will not be doing is heavily focusing on what other herbalists are doing. Now, comparison can be very distracting and even discouraging. And while I do respect and learn from other herbalists, I'm always talking about building a community. Staying overly focused on their work can make you lose sight of your own strengths. So I notice if I'm working on a book or if I'm working on a project, if I'm writing other works and workbooks and things like that, then I typically don't watch other herbalists because I don't even want my mind to drift off into, oh, I can do this. Well, they're doing that. So then I can add that on to what I'm doing, or they're selling this product and it seems to be selling great. So I can add that product on to what I'm doing, and this, and you'll drive yourself nuts because people out, trust me, there are creative people out there. There's some amazing herbalists out there, amazing farmers out there that are doing some wonderful, great things. But guess what? You're great too. They're looking wonderful because they're operating in their purpose and in their lane, and they're flourishing because of that. So rather than trying to pick off or compare yourself to and all these other things into what somebody else is doing, stay focused on you and your lane. And then as you flourish in your lane, you'll know that feeling. You'll have that glow. But don't stay overly focused on what other herbalists are doing. I know I have been tempted to do that, and this is the reason why I don't do it, especially when I'm working on projects, because I don't want that to be in my head about what somebody else is doing. Because herbal medicine is about really cultivating your own wisdom and intuition, right? Not replicating somebody else's path. So we each have our own journey, and staying true to that is beneficial for all of us. And like I said, there are some great herbalists out there doing amazing things, beautiful things, wonderful things in the community. And they are to be celebrated, but not replicated. All right. Number 4. Another thing that I am not going to do is doubt my capabilities as an herbalist. Self-doubt can creep in, especially when you face challenges, but confidence grows with experience and dedication. So trusting my training and insights, it'll allow me to serve my clients more effectively, and it reminds me of the value that I bring. So keeping a healthy balance between humility and confidence is very important for growth and client trust. One of my pet peeves is to watch some of these podcasts or to really listen to them, watch YouTube posts or shorts or all this other stuff. And you see an herbalist and they are, beyond confident. Their head is so big, they can't even fit through the door, to where people are asking them questions because they essentially don't know, which is why they're asking. And they're met with a snarky response, or you don't know that, or listen, this is basic information. I don't understand how you can't get this. I don't like arrogance at all. I am repulsed by it. It is the most unnecessary characteristic or trait in this society. I don't like it. I am repulsed by it. Right? It's nothing wrong with being confident. Confidence says, I know what I know. And now that I know it, you can't take it away from me. And I'm so strong on what I know, I got receipts. And I'm going to do everything that I need to do to walk in my purpose. That's confidence. That confidence that moves over into arrogance says that there's an element where I have to put you down and put myself above you. Always, at all cost, in any kind of way. So as herbalists, we have to keep a balance between humility and confidence. And confidence is very important. Because I'm going to be honest with you, people, listen, if I come to you talking about I need some help, especially with my health or whatever, and you over here shaky, you don't look confident, and you don't sound confident, and you know what I'm saying, I'm going to be looking like, maybe not, you know? And I think a lot of people are like that. This is also why certain people are able to get scammed. Because you got somebody, they can wear the confidence suit very well. They can confidence your behind out of money, out of anything. So you gotta, we as herbalists, we have to have that balance. But you don't want self-doubt to stay there. It may creep in. Like I said, especially when you're going through different challenges, and I've gone through that. When you've hitting certain roadblocks and things like that, you're like, dang, is this what I'm really supposed to be doing? I can't even get this going. I can't even fix this. I can't even help this. Am I supposed to even be doing this? Did I call myself? But then as I begin to not only work with my clients, but also be able to research and create materials and actually see the benefits that it has had in people's lives, my confidence grew, because it's like, no, you're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be doing exactly what you're doing. You have a lot of information to give, and the way you give it, how people will get it and benefit from it and share it with others. You're supposed to be here. So no matter what, do not doubt your capabilities as an herbalist. Now, if you don't know nothing, that's on you. You got to go know something, right? I always tell people, go know what you don't know. Okay? And keep what you do know. But if you don't know something, go know it. There's no excuse in this day and age. There was a time, long, long time ago, where, we would get persecuted for even picking up a book. Those that know. But nowadays, with technology and all these other things, please, you can get all kind of information from everywhere, even stuff you probably don't even want to know or even never thought of. So there's no reason not to know. Like I tell people when they're like, I want to be a herbalist, but I don't know where to start. First of all, start with research. What type of herbalist do you want to be? Once you've defined that, now go know what that particular herbalist needs to know in order to be effective at their job. That's how you do that. Otherwise, you're going to get completely overwhelmed with trying to know everything there is to know about everything. And you're going to drive yourself nuts. Or you're not even going to get started. And that's dangerous. Because if you were supposed to be doing this, you got to get started. I don't care if you learn 3 or 4 herbs at a time. Learn about the human body, just the systems, how they function, the plants, the phytochemicals. You got to get started, because somebody is waiting on you, and they're waiting on the information that you have. So do not doubt your capabilities as an herbalist. And the last thing that I will not do as an herbalist is spend time following trends. I am going to stay in my lane. Now, trends often shift, and chasing them can pull us away from our core values. So staying grounded in my chosen approach will, it allows me to provide consistent, authentic, because like I said before, authenticity is important, care that is focused on long-term proven benefits of herbal medicine. This, if you jump into this, you're in it for the long haul. This isn't the get rich quick scheme. This isn't the fly by night. This isn't the one-stop shop, where you just get it, go, bam, bang, I'm done. This is a journey. And if you can get that through your head, especially as a new herbalist, Okay, I'm not going to know it all in one whop. I'm not going to know it all in 1 week, 1 year, 1 month, 1 decade. So I need to just walk, put one foot in front of the other, and stay grounded. But do not spend time following trends. There are tons of trends out there, right? And so instead of following trends, I tend to focus on techniques and herbs that align with my knowledge, my experience, and making sure that I can offer value to my clients and help them create stable foundations in their lives. That's what I focus on. I don't want to focus on, and a lot of people, hey, have you heard this herb? They said it can do this. Have you heard about that herb from Africa? They said it can do that. Have you heard about this herb way over here? Yes. Yes, I've heard of that. I've heard of it. Right? But have you heard about this herb that's right around the corner from you? Called Eastern White Pine. Have you heard about that? Because I'm thinking about the people, everyday people, who have to spend their coins on food, on living, daily living. Okay? They may not have the money to send for herbs all the way from Africa or Tibet somewhere. We don't want to make this thing complicated. You have herbs right here in the United States. If you're in the UK, you have herbs right there. If you are in Africa listening to me, you have herbs right where you are. We don't have to go all over the place. Now, I'm not against people doing that. If you can afford to do it, fine. But understand that you have herbs that can work and do that exact same thing right over here. There is no magic bullet. And the reality is there's some herbs that can give you super quick results. But it's a fine line between, and the dosage. That's a fine line between it works and gives it quick, or you're going to get poisoned and die. So as an herbalist, you better know what you're talking about. If you're not an herbalist, let's say you're a plant enthusiast looking for an herbalist, you better hope they know what they're talking about. So don't look for trends. Trends, they're there, and then they come, and then they go. You don't want to ride that wave. Because if people can't identify who you are and what your message is, they can't connect with you. They just don't want to. How can I connect with you? You seem all over the place. You seem like a Ponzi scheme. And nobody wants to deal with that. Nobody wants to try to figure out, okay, who is this person? Okay, 1 minute she's selling this and doing this. The next minute seems like she's promoting this and promoting that. She seems all over the place. I don't know you. And so for that reason, you don't want to spend your time following trends. I don't spend my time following trends. I've had people come up to my booth when I do shows, and it's like, hey, you should make this, and hey, you should add that, and hey, and I'm thinking, if I made a product for every time somebody told me I should make something, I'd probably have 10,000 products, and that one person would be the only one that'd buy it. So I don't do that. Okay, I stay true to my core and my values and what I can offer to the clients. Now, am I saying don't do your market research and determine what people's needs are? No. More than determining, what type of herbs people need, I do advocate for understanding what type of health issues people tend to deal with. And by understanding that, then you go to the herbs and determine which ones they need to kind of help balance out so the body can heal itself. I'm more on that side rather than the other. All right. So don't follow trends. Okay. Maybe set some, right? Don't be a follower, be a leader. So those are the 5 things that I would not do. I would not work outside of my scope of learning. I would not listen to others' thoughts about the type of herbalist I should be. I would not heavily focus on what other herbalists are doing. I would not doubt my capabilities as an herbalist. And I would not spend time following trends. I would not. Staying true to these principles, they keep me aligned with my mission and keep me focused on delivering the best care and products to you. So remember, it's your unique approach, your values, and your dedication that sets you apart in this heavily saturated field. So keep growing, stay authentic, and always honor your path in herbal medicine. And if you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all of my social media sites at The Demystified Herbalist. And until next time, family, I'm out.